All right, good morning, everyone. We're back. Back with audio. We had a little hookup. It's okay. We're going to get through it together. We're going to confirm that we have audio on some of the other platforms. But it is Friday. We are back. We are good. We are ready to go. Justin Hofstein in the building. What's going on, good sir? Good to see you. Good to see you. Hey, Justin, so you know, we're live on Twitch as well. So if the quality drops out, you let me know, good sir. Come on in. Jesse, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. Appreciate you coming in and checking things out. We are always doing what we can for the fans that are out in the world. Um, this is a later podcast than normal, I'm excited. I'm happy to chat about this topic. We're going to be talking about augmented reality in fashion, why it's awesome, why it's incredible to take a look at, and why it's a really cool experience. But if this is your first Synth Reality Tech Talk, welcome. Come on in. Dive into a platform. Let's chat. If your stream goes ugly on one of the other platforms, if you're on YouTube, we appreciate you. If you're on LinkedIn, we love you. If you're on Twitch, you have the apple of my eye, if you will. Thanks for the follow there, Justin from SoFlow. I appreciate it. High production value here on the Synth Reality Tech Talk. So number one, we're late. Number two, I got Starbucks. Number three, this is the second time we're going to do this podcast because this morning we had a big issue with audio. 20 minutes in, we realized that one of my pups that was running around this morning pulled out the audio cord and no one could hear me. But appreciate you guys coming in, talking about a really cool topic. We're going to be talking about augmented reality and how it's affecting the fashion world and how that could potentially affect others. So with that, for those of you who don't know, my name is Rob Petrosino. Overall great guy, but more importantly, futurist technologist, and here to enable you to be the best version of yourself when it comes to emerging technologies and go out there and be a thought leader and an advocate and a subject matter expert so that you can push your organizations to better be better with tech. So that's why we're here. With that, let's head on over to the screen share. Justin, that cut was just for you, sir. Just for you. So what we're going to be talking about. Um, Inside Vogue's new London experience that is powered by Snapchat. Justin, I appreciate you as always. It's a really interesting experience. So, Snapchat has been hard pushing on augmented reality for business, and it seems to be coming to fruition with a couple different things. So, a couple weeks ago, or a couple days ago, rather, I talked about Snapchat launching a Tiffany exclusive experience for their brand where you could try on a bracelet, and now we're going to be talking about what they're doing with Vogue. So Vogue came out and launched a pop-up experience in the heart of London with several other brands including Dior, Versace, and a couple others. What they wound up doing is putting together a really great experience that is both experiential in nature and having interactive shopping experiences overall. Interactive shopping experiences is enabling someone to interact with the product virtually or digitally, even though it may not be there in real life, or enhancing a real life experience. So it's this true blended omni commerce experience, right? It allows you to go potentially in store, online, and digitally, and blends that real world experience. For those of you that are just joining us, I appreciate you being here. Hop on in. If you have questions, ask your questions. If you're having struggles with stream, head on over to Twitch. It's usually the best one. If it's choppy, I apologize. I'm doing everything I can to make sure that you guys have a great experience on the other side of the camera. So, with that, Vogue comes out and says we're going to do redefining the body experience. So they're going to blend the realms of physical fashion into digital fashion and how they can use Snapchat lenses to really change how people engage with it. So down here you're going to see one of those free exhibit installations. Really cool experience. What they're basically doing is allowing a room to be covered in florals and polka dots and have a magic mirror experience. When I stand in front of this magic mirror, I get to interact with a Snapchat lens that is playing through a well-lit mirror. So you can see that button down at the bottom there. That's going to be a portion of the interactivity. And you also can notice that there's a very light and bright panel around the outside of that experience. And the reason for that is because they need that high quality light to do two specific things: body and face tracking. And we're going to show what the output looks like towards the bottom, but that's really important concept to know. They are going to be focusing on body and face tracking. The face tracking is where Snapchat originated its tracking and why it's really important, and how they moved on to the body from that learning experience. So the show is until March 5th. It's really well put together. We're scrolling through a couple different ones in here. They democratize fashion with AR exhibition featuring Dior and Versace. So if you want to read this full article, it is on fashionunited.uk. Check it out. It's definitely well written. It goes through every single one of the experiences. But today, we're just going to be talking a little bit about the tech and a little bit about the experience. So here's an exhibition from Kenneth Eyes, who collaborated with Nigerian artist Jalil Etiku. I apologize if I'm butchering your last, first, or any name. I do the best that I can. But what's cool about this is they explored the mythology and ritualism and symbolism of different experiences and kind of blended public performance with painting. And the way they did that was coming up with concepts and experiences like this one, where I'm able to put on this dress or virtually try on this dress or virtually try on one of his signature pieces, but then also have a Snapchat filter around it. Obviously, the Snapchat filter in this case is that crown of mushrooms. Really well done. Again, high quality. You get a little bit of that light reflection in the clothing itself, and because you have that in the clothing itself, it does a really good job of making it realistic. They also did some things with Versace, as you can see here. This is one of the images provided by Vogue. They obviously have a very iconic Medusa head, and making sure that the Snapchat AR actually morphs the Medusa head into writhing snakes. It's really interesting to have this buckle dress inspired piece over here and have this AR experience related to the brand. They do highlight a couple others in here, but we're going to scroll down past some of the real world experiences here and down into this virtual try-on experience. So let's drop this down a little bit so we can see the whole piece. This is what we want to talk about. This is the future of augmented reality and fashion. What they're doing here is allowing a user to track not only the body but also the limbs so they can see the experience overall and what that looks like. Okay? And what that looks like on a distinct person. So how did they do this? Well, Snapchat launched upper garment tracking a little while ago. What that does is, a little while ago, meaning a couple months ago, and what that does is allow the user to track a garment on the upper half of their body, and that allows you to change different color shirts, change different patterns, do a bunch of different things that are on the actual physical and the actual digital version of a physical piece of clothing. And they did that because they had totally and completely completed facial tracking. So, for those of you that don't know, The facial tracking in Snapchat is based on eye movement, open mouth, ears, nose, and head position. What's interesting is we don't 100% know if this fabric moves because we're looking at a still. However, we would suggest for the best experience that this fabric has to move or flow or have some level of dynamic movement based on the limbs that move. The reason that we think that this may not is because this feels very static and or it is very hard to do and it's a very high amount of processing power on the device itself. It's just 100%. The physics engine that you would need in the Snapchat app is going to be very, very heavy for you to have flowing sleeves or walking or flowing dress between the legs as the person walks. So that might be a little bit difficult. However, as you said, right, something in Unity or Unreal is much more likely to do this. The issue with Unity or Unreal potentially is having to redeploy that application to mobile and potentially overpowering the mobile processor, and even worse, if you wanted to do something on web, you're 100% in the right thought pattern there, right? You just have lower compute power in a browser. You have a little bit higher compute power in the app itself on a native application. You have obviously the highest compute power when you are running it in Unity and Unreal itself. So pretty cool experience there. So the reason they were able to do upper garment or t-shirt, right, tracking, we're going to call it t-shirt for now, upper garment tracking, is because they had done such a good job matching the face. When they've aggregated enough face tracking, what they're able to do is extend down and guesstimate the position of the neck. Once they have the position of the neck, they now can determine the position of the shoulders. So once they have this T, right, the T can be here in the center line. Once they have this T, it's a lot easier to do garment tracking. They're not the only ones that are out there doing this. Snapchat is not the only ones that are working on these types of activities, and it's very interesting to hear that others are working on it. Another big brand that's worked on this specifically from a platform perspective is someone like Zero 10. So this is the Zero 10 app. Here we can see that you do get a little bit of garment movement, to Justin's point, right? On Twitch. If you're not on Twitch, come over to Twitch. The experience is a lot better, and we're having a pretty cool conversation. You're seeing a little bit different experience when it comes to virtual try-on and fashion, but this is a really good video here. So they launched their own platform. That platform allows you to create applications. What I will call out is that this model is barely moving. Right? Barely moving means that the little movement that they do, it does a good job tracking to it. So that's great to see. And they have a couple different examples here. What's nice is that you'll see the most successful ones are going to be ones that exist outside of the body frame. So they can use the body as reference, but they do not deploy directly on body. Okay? So you can see you get a little bit of movement, a little bit of undulation in some of these video ones that are on body, where these off body ones just look a little bit better. This is one of my favorites. If you guys haven't tried that, definitely check out Zero 10 and their application on there. Really cool stuff, and the future of fashion is moving fast. But when we think about this from a larger perspective, there's going to be a lot of different industries. Basically, if you are a company that sells digitally, you have to start aligning to interactive selling. The baseline experience for interactive selling is having some level of customization of products or interactivity on products on page. The next step above that is bringing that information directly into a room or experience, and then the last one is having this type of deeply interactive selling experience where the user can create themselves in a new and more imagined way and get more information directly about that product. So with that, we are going to wrap up today's cast a little bit under 20 minutes. I appreciate you guys coming in. I appreciate you checking things out. I always appreciate your comments and opinions and thoughts, and I look forward to talking to you guys soon. As always, this is a Synth Reality Tech Talk, and I'm glad that you are here. If you haven't checked out the socials, make sure you click them. And the best part is, I get to see you guys on the other side. So have a good one.